Mikel, the Odegard long-term contract, how much of a lift has that given you and your side going into this huge game on Sunday?
Great news for the club, great news for the team. Really happy for him as well. He fully deserves that. It just shows as well that there are many ways to make it. There are many pathways to arrive where you want, and at the end it's about finding a place where you feel comfortable, where you feel valued, and you can express your talent. And I think he's found that place. I think he's loved by everybody, respected by everybody, and he fully deserves what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, he mentioned, didn't he, it feels like he's found a home here. He came on loan, he went on to be integral to your side, to captain your side. He's clearly had a great couple of years. How much better do you think he can get? Where can you still see him improving?
We don't know, I think they don't have to be looking for a ceiling. I think they have to try to be better every single day, being humble enough to admit that there is still a big room for them, and one thing is what you can do individually every single day, which I think he does, and the other thing is obviously the contribution to all the players that you have around you. When you have players that have the quality to make you better, that's a huge bonus. So I think you are as good as your team, and I think the players that he has around him obviously elevates his qualities, and that's why he's better and better.
With Everton last weekend and doing what you hadn't done in 6, with what you did midweek, could preparations for this game have gone any better?
No, winning always helps and maintains the spirit in the right place. This game doesn't need any motivation. It's the most special game of the season. It's a derby. It's a special moment for all of us, and we just need to focus on that.
In terms of who you might have available, Thomas Partey's still out.
Yeah.
I'm guessing. Any sort of prognosis on time with him, and how's Martinelli?
With Gary, we are still assessing him, so let's see if he can make the game or not. Thomas for sure is out, and the rest hopefully available. We still have 2 training sessions, but there was no big issues in midweek.
So Martinelli not ruled out at this stage.
No.
And I want to ask you about your keepers, because clearly it's going to be a topic of much discussion over the next few weeks as well. Can I just ask you how Ramsdale has reacted? Because he didn't look particularly happy whenever the cameras panned to him on Wednesday night.
I understand that, and it's very difficult with every player, and I suffer and I care about every player that is not playing, but this is the competition, and this is my job as well to make decisions in the best possible way for the team, and he's been very supportive. He's been really good around the place, and that's what I expect from every single player, because when you are on that field there is someone else that is not, so it goes both ways, and so far it's been really, really good.
And just finally from me, are these the sort of really tough, maybe even ruthless decisions you're going to have to make if Arsenal are to win the silverware you so desperately want? And are you comfortable doing that?
Comfortable? Maybe I look, but in your tummy, when you have players sitting or you have to announce the lineup, it's one of the hardest things, because players feel valued and happy when they play, and when they don't, it's very difficult, and you want them to feel loved and to feel trusted, and the way to do it is to play them. But everybody understands that it's a team sport, and there's always 11 players starting, but we have seen how important as well the finishes are, and how important everybody is going to be in the season. And if not, look back, the team that have played the first 6 or 7 start games of the season.
Okay, I'll go Seb from the Premier League.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
Can you put into perspective how much the fact this is Tottenham comes into the equation in the way you approach this game? Because you have quite a good record against them at the Emirates. So it's almost like you're used to dealing with them. You know what to do, but how much does it come into the equation?
A new challenge, a new opportunity. Obviously, they have a new manager that is done really, really well, and I think he's changed the vibe and everything around the club, and different style as well. So adapt to that, be ourselves, and produce the performance that we need to beat them.
What do you think of Ange Postecoglou? He's very appreciated by
I
the
really
Tottenham
like him.
community. He's got a song as well in his name. How do you feel about
Really
it?
like him. I had players, and I know players had him, and they always speak really, really highly of him. And obviously that's not a coincidence, and you can tell us straight away that he's fitting in the right way. So that's the beauty of this league, that we have top managers, top competition, and every game is very difficult.
And finally, do you have any memories of this fixture as a player, as a manager? Memories that stand out?
Yeah, I have many. Obviously, the recent one is the last years as well, which is beautiful, and it's just living with our supporters, the moments when you manage to win the game, and that satisfaction that you give to everybody, because it's a special day for everybody. So hopefully we can reproduce that again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
George from BBC.
Thanks, Dad. Mikel, sorry, just one on Aaron Ramsdale, if you don't mind. Has this decision been so hard for you personally because Ramsdale's so likeable and he's a fan's favourite as well? Is that what made this decision so tough for you when you talk about how hard it is to make?
Yes, it is hard, but with all the players it's the same. You know, Aaron is an exceptional character, and he's got this charisma and this aura around him, and we all know that, and I fully understand that. And it happens with many other players. You see the reception that everybody got to Emil the other night, and he sent him a message. That's why we really like him, and I really like him, and we have to deal with that. But at the end, yeah, you have to make the team, the lineup of what you feel, and the best way to prepare the game.
Just going back to Martin signing his new contract, I mean, everyone's known about him since he was 15, really.
Yeah.
He's like a wonder kid. And now he's playing the best football of his career. How's he got to that stage with dealing with that pressure? Because that can't be easy to do it from 15, and now here he is at Arsenal as Arsenal captain.
Yeah. At a very early age, he had huge expectations. He made his debut with the national team as well at 15, 16, I think. He's played for 5 different teams in 3 different countries in that period. That's a lot for someone to take. But I think you are made as well of the experiences and the journeys that you go through. And Martin is the player that he is today at that age because what he's been through in the last 4 or 5 years. That's what is making the player and the person that he is today. And we are really happy that he's found home.
And he's a captain. Is he a quiet captain? Or is he quite vocal in the dressing room when you put this leadership responsibility on him?
I think it's a really good balance. You notice him around the building all the time because he's doing all the time the right things. When he needs to get into fun, I think he's quite funny. He's really likable person, so committed, and I'm really happy to have him as a captain.
And just on the contracts at Saka, Martinelli, Saliba, and you've got Declan Rice on a long contract now. I mean, this is possibly the core of your team for the next 5 years. I mean, that must be very pleasing for you and for the chairman, really, of the club.
Yeah, well, I think the club has done really well in the last 2 or 3 years, you know, to try to give it some consistency and try to maintain the talent that we have, and we are trying to develop to be consistently where we want to be, and that's the objective, to keep maintaining that and improving the team.
Thank you.
Simon with Standard.
Hi Mikel, you speak a lot about connection here with the fans and everything. I know it's early days at Tottenham, but do you see a similar thing with Postecoglou and what he's creating there, that bond he seems to have already forged with the supporters?
Well, I don't know, it's just a feeling, you know, when I see the team or him talking, but I don't have that much information to compare that.
This is the first time, obviously, we haven't got Harry Kane in a North London derby with a formidable record. How much of a boost is that for you to go against a Tottenham team without him?
They have many other qualities and many other players that they can create and make the difference in the game. So yeah, probably for them is obviously a big change, but I think they have adapted really well to it.
And just lastly, I know you won't tell us, but have you decided who's going to play in goal on Sunday?
I haven't decided.
James from ESPN.
Just on Kane, in the analysis you've done on Spurs this week, what differences have you noticed in Tottenham without Harry Kane?
Well, obviously it's a special player. Everything was going through them. He was the one that glided everything together, and they did it in many different ways from many different areas of the pitch. Now it's a bit different. I think they have a different style for the last 2 coaches as well. There for sure, they have some specificity in some movements that they make with certain players. So it's I think it's a very different team.
He is the